Hello from Our Lady of Bethesda. We're continuing our series of Lenten reflections today with the reflection entitled, Be Fully Armed. In today's gospel, we find Jesus casting out demons. And in that, Jesus was showing his power as God to have dominion over all of creation, especially the power, of course, to cast out evil from our souls. On the other hand, of course, as God, he also has the great power to fill our souls with the greatest goods here on this earth. And the greatest of these goods is the Eucharist. It's through the Eucharist that our soul is fully armed against all the attacks of the enemy. Especially today being a Thursday, we can look back and prayerfully consider and reflect on Holy Thursday, that night when Jesus was gathered with his apostles in the upper room and instituted the Eucharist for the first time. And in the Eucharist, he gives us the whole spiritual treasure of the entire church in this one gift. When we were baptized, God freed us from original sin, but also implanted in our souls the virtues of faith, hope, and love. And those virtues, in seed form, of course, need to be watered and given sunlight by more grace from God. And that grace reaches its fulfillment in the Eucharist. The Eucharist is called the source and the summit of the entire life of the church. Well, why is the Eucharist so important? Well, first of all, the Eucharist increases our union, of course, with Jesus Christ himself. He is the greatest gift. I think when we reflect on our own lives, certainly we have many things. Some have more, some have less. But in the end, it's not the things that make us happy. It's the people. It's our relationships. Ultimately, those friendships of love that we have that are the most essential and vital things for our lives. And in the Eucharist, Jesus gives us his very friendship, his very self. And that's the first and most important effect of the Eucharist. Just like our bodies need food, our souls also need that food to be life-giving. And the Eucharist is that source, again, of life in our souls. One of the virtues that the Eucharist especially gives us and strengthens within us is that virtue of love, of charity. And when that charity is active, that charity in our hearts wipes away our venial sins. The Eucharist also helps us to avoid mortal sins, to avoid those things that break off our friendship and our union with God. There are so many graces, so many benefits to receiving Christ in the Eucharist. Again, we want to be fully armed, especially when we're trying to convert, when we're trying to turn around and face God and give him everything that is ours. That's where we find our true happiness. So as we continue our Lenten journey, I encourage you to seek times to be with Christ in the Eucharist. Maybe it's going to more daily masses. Of course, on Sunday, we're always called to go to Mass, but maybe increase the number of times you go to Mass, especially during this Lent. Or find times to maybe find a church or a place where there's adoration of the Blessed Sacrament. There are so many benefits to be in the presence of our Eucharistic Lord. And in his presence, you truly will be fully armed with his grace. So I encourage you, again, to seek the Eucharist and know that you are in our prayers. And we will pray for your continued growth in your love for the Eucharist.